Hello, hello. What is going on, Covenant fam? I know it has been a minute. Don't hate me. I promise. I promise. I promise. I've been out of my mind the last, since the last video that I did and I uploaded, and I really need to get that video out to you guys for the sensors on the truck. And I'm trying, but by the time I get down there, I'm exhausted. It's late. We ran into traffic in New Mexico. That was a horrible mess. Tractor trailers, crashed or whatever. And I heard from other truckers when we were at one of the truck stops. We stopped at the Loves in Santa Rosa, and I was at the, what is going on there? Sorry, I told you something always going on in Vegas. There was like 4 or 5 squad cars, and they had a car pulled over. They were searching it in the parking lot of one of the shopping centers here. Flashlights out. I think some of them had their guns out. So it's always something crazy out here. And believe it or not, it's better than California. Like, I know that sucks to say, and some of y'all Californians is probably like, hey, but hey, I'm from California too, and it's better than California, I'll tell you that. The only thing I can't stand being out here is the traffic. People in Nevada don't know how to drive. Sorry, they don't. I don't like these speed limits at 45 miles per hour. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I really don't. But anyway, yeah, so it's crazy for me, and I know I keep saying that, but like, after I got in trouble, and my videos, because I jumped the gun, I'm so emotional, whatever, my videos, and I destroyed them, which I shouldn't have done, but it was in the heat of the moment, and my feelings were hurt, so I just got rid of them. And I had a lot of good videos on there, guys, and I cannot remember everything that I filmed. And now I'm afraid to do some of the videos that I did have on there that were geared towards the road, the safety of the truck, doing the speed, doing the cruise control and the engine brake and all that stuff. Everything that I was able to show and all that is gone, and I tried to retrieve them from YouTube and Google, and it just wouldn't let me. It kept taking me in circles, so it was really hard. And I just figured, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna scrap it and start over. And then everything in my life, besides the job, just started to like snowball downhill. And I'm barely getting to the point to where like everything's starting to kind of level out, but I don't know, it still isn't right. So that's why everything's been all over the place, and I'm not in my right mind right now to be able to give this all my focus, if that makes sense. But I don't want to leave you guys out. I don't want to forget about you guys, and I'm not going to. And I know that you guys need content, and to make sure that you guys are getting everything you need as far as being on the road. So basically just kind of giving that little tidbit snip. And also the whole point of this video is expenses. So being a company driver, your company is responsible for anything that has to deal with the truck. Load locks, tires, breakdowns on the truck, fuel, anything that has to deal with getting the truck in like order and the things that are needed for the truck to run, basically, right? And anything that's required for you to do your job. Okay, just like I don't know if I have it in any of these videos, but I have said before in previous videos, so I'm just going to say it again, that they can even cover cleaning supplies. So again, anything that you need for the truck in order to do your job, or that is pertaining to the company, they will cover but there is a limit, and you can't go and buy all the fancy products and all this stuff and the nice brooms and the mops and all that stuff. Anything extra that's not really required is going to be something out of your pocket. But like Pine Sol or Windex or things like that is stuff that you can send in your receipts to the company for. Anything that's less than $30 is not required to have an expense authorization number. Anything that is $30 or more, you are required to have an expense authorization number for. I think the max we can go is like $40 or $70. I'm not sure exactly which one, but I know that there is a cap, there is a limit, and it can't be all the time. I'm not sure if it's like once a month, once every 2 weeks, or something like that. But point is that anything you spend out of pocket pertaining to the job, the company will cover. The kicker is you have to know how to do the expense authorizations. So let's say that you need load locks, you're running reefer. You need 4 load locks minimum for a covenant, because they want to make sure that it's secure. Okay, the load. That way they can't say nothing. Oh, you only use 2 load locks, you only use 3, you only have 1 load lock, so then everything fell from the bottom. You want to make sure that you're able to cover all from top to bottom, right, of the load. So 4 is sufficient enough to make sure that pretty much everything stays in place, right? And you don't have to worry about the brundage bags, or those that don't know what that is, those are the ones that look like, not the peanuts, but basically it's like those little bubble bags that come in like packages in order to secure your package, whatever you ordered. So it's like that, but it's made out of some type of plastic material, and it's got this nozzle on it, and they stick like this blower, kind of like a blow-up mattress, and they stick it on there, and then they wedge it between whatever load they need to secure, and then they turn the blower on, and it inflates the bag, and then it holds it in place, and then they remove the little nozzle thing, and there you have the bag that's in place, that's using air as pressure to hold everything where it's supposed to be. You gotta be kidding me. I can't stand drivers like this. Anyway, so we don't use those, and we use straps, but the straps are for dry freight. So let's say you're hauling for like Foot Locker or Nike, or anything that has to deal with just boxes, and it's in a dry van, then you need to have like the straps that go inside those little metal poles that are in the center of each dividing trailer wall. Okay, and it kind of looks like a funky looking belt buckle, and you put it in there, and then you put the other side in there, and then you tighten the straps in the center so that it's like a belt that's going across from one end of the trailer to the other. So we do use those, very rare, because most of the time when it comes to drop and hook loads, guys, your customer is really the one that seals the load. Believe it or not, they're the ones that usually seal the load. There's very few times that you go and pick up a load and it's in a door, and then they have you pull the load from the door, and then once you do that, then you were in the wrong lane the whole time. Like, oh, I should just ram the back of your dang old car. Anyway, you didn't hear that. That wasn't aggressive, okay? Just, I don't like that when you're in the wrong lane and you're still holding up traffic. It's just baffling to me and annoying. So straps, it's like a belt, and it's very rare that we actually get to see inside of the trailer. They're usually sealed, already like closed up doors. They put the seal on it. You're just going in to get paperwork and grab your stuff and go. Sorry guys, you probably can't even see me. Here I is. It's very rare that we use the straps. Okay, I've used them a couple times. Throughout the whole time that I've been with Covenant, it's not like a lot of times, because again, it's not something that we're required to seal the load, because they typically do it because their hustlers are the ones that pull the load out of the door. Unless they didn't get around to it, if you're early or whatever, they may give you permission to pull the load from the door while they're printing your bills, and then they'll give you the seal. You can check the load. Anytime you pull a load from the door, you always want to take pictures of it. You want to see if you can secure it. If you can secure it, do that. But keep in mind, if you do seal it and put your straps and your locks in there and everything else, you're going to lose those. Because once you drop that load, they're not going to let you open the load and then take your stuff out. And you can't get those straps back, or the load locks or whatever. Like, it's just pretty much gone. It's gone with the load. So that's why they have this system of when they do the load locks and stuff like that. That's why I said straps we barely use. Those things get lost all the time. Most of the time, if they do get strapped, if they use straps, it stays in the trailer. I don't know if any of you guys have ever picked up an empty and see like straps hanging from something. I can ignore that call. It's my son's school. Anyway, if you guys have ever picked up a load and have seen straps like hanging from like the side of the trailer or something like that, those are straps that somebody left in there, and then the next customer just didn't use them and they just put their load in there, they sealed it up and then let it be. It's because those that actually did seal their load with load locks or secure their load with the straps, they've lost those straps to that load. So once the customer opened the doors and they started to unload, they remove one side of the strap, let it hang, and then they remove their products from it. And then if we go and pick up an empty, it happens to have that strap in there, fine. Or if the customer refills that with a different load that's leaving their terminal out to another, then they also just leave the strap, and some will restrap that new load or they won't. So it just depends. But the main thing you guys need to focus and understand is anytime you spend money out of pocket, and load locks. Now, load locks are for reefer loads, okay? You can use them for dry loads too, but I really don't like to. I'm not saying it's dumb, but to me, it's really no point to use the load locks for dry loads unless the load looks like it's really gonna fall over. Then yeah, like I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use whatever I can or whatever I have on hand to take care of it to make sure it doesn't fall on me. But even pictures will suffice. So if you see that those, everything's looking like it's gonna tumble over, if you haven't left yet, you can go back inside to the customer and say, hey, this load looks like it's gonna topple over, so can you please grab that? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God. Sorry. This guy literally just pulled out in front of me going like 0 miles per hour. Sorry. I don't normally do that. Bad mouth. Bad mouth. Lord forgive me. Anyway, so they're working on this stupid freeway and I hate it because we sit in traffic for these lanes to be merging for literally no reason, and all because they just love to do construction in Nevada. That's another thing I hate about being out here, is that there's cones and construction on every freaking main road you go on, every freaking highway for no reason. Literally, it's like they make up construction jobs for these guys to continue to be in work and get paid. So now they're working on the stupid Tropicana thing, And so like all these lanes are being closed and nobody knows how to drive. Nobody knows how to merge. So we just sit here for hours. And the later it gets in the night, the longer it takes you, because it literally goes from 5 lanes down to 1. And they merge from each side going into the center, and everybody just doesn't know what to do and waits till the last minute and cuts everybody off. It's just stupid. Anyway, I'm flying off on a tangent. What was I saying? Load locks, customer. Okay. So, I lost my train of thought. I really shouldn't have said that. I can't remember. Reefer. Oh, I don't use reefer for load locks for dry loads. If it looks like it's going to topple over and they have you pull the load from the door and it looks like it's not going to be a good thing, like if you make a turn, it looks like it's going to just crumble or tumble or whatever, you can go back inside and have them come and look at it. If they don't want to rework it or redo it or remove the pallet or something like that, to save your behind, you document who came out to look at the trailer and you take pictures of the trailer, the way that it looks from the outside, and make sure if somehow you can incorporate the trailer number, and that way they know it's recent and that photo belongs to that trailer and that load. And you take pictures of inside that trailer, and that will be your proof before you go anywhere that this is what the load looked like before it was sealed up. That way they can't say, oh, it was damaged or started to topple over in transit, because they will love to blame it on you and the company. And we have to insure the load. Once we have the load, we're responsible for the load. So our insurance will cover whatever they say the damages are that have happened in between, us picking it up and us dropping it off. So that's to cover your behind, and that's with any load. So even if it doesn't look like it's going to topple over, you can take pictures of every freaking load that you go and pick up that you have access to see in the back, so that way nobody can say anything. So if you want to be that like on top of it and secure your load, or secure yourself and make sure that you're covered, because they can say anything they want to say about the load once it's sealed and it's in your hands. So that way you can have proof and be like, nope, this is what it looked like when I picked it up. And then Covenant, they'll take your side if you have proof that that's what it was. If not, then, honestly, they might take your side. It just depends. If there's no proof, then they just might have to check it up as a loss and, might have to pay out whatever is needed if anything were to happen to it. So the point is, make sure you do anything and everything you can to protect yourself and to protect the company. I know it sounds stupid, but listen, if the company goes under, so do you. What job are you going to have? So that's a whole nother video that I've been meaning to do, and I'll probably do it. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but that's a whole nother video that has been weighing on my mind heavy. And it really bugs me, because a lot of people see things differently, separate, when they work for a company. They feel like, oh, I'm not going to make my company more rich than they already are. And that is such a bad way to look at things in your situation. So anyway, I'll get to that. Point is you want to make sure that you cover yourself any chance you get, because if not, it's going to be you versus them, not your company, but whoever is claiming that you did blah blah blah. Then you will always want to make sure you have proof. And that's with anything, not even just with the job or doing locks or equipment or anything like that. Anything that you're involved in that requires more than just you because you can't really trust people nowadays, you always want to make sure that you have some kind of backup, some proof, some fail-safe, something to make sure that you don't catch the crap end of the stick, right? So anyway, load locks. Load locks are for reefer loads. You need 4 of them for Covenant. I know other companies will tell you, oh, you only need 2. Just make sure that you get the top and kind of center it. Shut up. You don't work for my company. You don't know what our policy is. 4 load locks. Okay? I'm telling you right now, 4 load locks. You can buy them at any truck stop. The way it works is you go in, you get the price, you tell the cashier, I need the price for 4 load locks, including tax. You don't want to not include tax. You need to include the tax, okay? You get that amount, you go back to your truck. It's a lot of back and forth, so just listen. Go back to your truck. You put in a macro for that order. It's going to ask you how much it is, your driver ID, blah, 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 all the required information. Make sure you fill all of that out, okay? You fill it out. You got it together. They're going to send you an EA number, which is an expense authorization number, okay? That's letting you know it's been approved. You're going to keep that number because you're going to need it later. They're going to load your card. There's another macro in there somewhere. Macro 16 is what is going to be for them to put it on your Comdata card, okay? That amount that you asked for. They're going to load it on there. Those load locks for all 4 of them cost somewhere around between $200 and $400, depending on where you are, what the taxes are in that state, and all that stuff. If the prices have gone up or gone down, I don't know what they are because I haven't bought load locks in at least a year and a half. So, once you send that macro, they're going to load it to your Comdata card. That Comdata card, anything that gets loaded onto that card is going to be considered in advance. Okay? They will, I repeat, they will absolutely take that out of your paycheck. The way to avoid this is you need to have that EA number and you need to have your receipt from when you purchased those load locks. So if you didn't get a receipt when you got the load locks at that truck stop, you're going to be screwed unless you can go back or figure out how to get them to send you an email or copy of a receipt, something, which I don't even know if they do that because they don't even know if you're you. But point is, always get a freaking receipt, especially when you're doing stuff for the company, okay? So you have your receipt, you have your load locks, you done already paid for them, everything like that, right? You put your load locks where they need to be and the holders, you get going, you do your thing. When it comes time to drop that load and you're getting ready to submit your bills, when you're getting ready to submit your bills, you need to have that receipt, the EA number, all that has to be on the front of your cover sheet, your Covenant cover sheet for your load, right? When it asks you your load number, your truck number, your origin, your destination, your added stops, and then it has those boxes and it says expense and it says motel, yes or no, and it's got like all these lines and these boxes, right? And it says driver 1, driver 2. And then it asks for your driver ID number. Whoever is the one that got the funds loaded on their Comdata card is the one that needs to put in on the cover sheet on that box. So if driver 1's the one that did it, then driver 1 needs to have that information in their expense box, right? If driver 2 did it, driver 2 needs to have that information in their expense box so that way they know who is the one responsible. If driver 2 did it and they put it in driver 1 box, then they're going to add it to driver 1, right? So you have to make sure that it's accurate, that it's right, that it's the same where it's supposed to be, right? Excuse me. So, once you fill your stuff out on your cover sheet, you have to submit your receipt with your bills. But if you just submit your receipt and your bills and that box is not filled out on the cover sheet and there's no EA number, they don't care that you attach the receipt. You can attach any receipt. Doesn't matter how much it came out to. Doesn't matter that it says load locks and all that other stuff. They need to make sure that you were given permission and authorized to purchase those load locks. Okay? If they don't have all that stuff together, they will take it out of your paycheck. You will have to pay for that. They advanced you the $200 or the $400, and then they didn't get a receipt saying that it was for work purposes, so they're going to take that it's a personal advance. So they're advancing you some of your paycheck, and then that's when it comes out of your paycheck. So you have to make sure that everything is in order. So you make sure that you have that EA number. Without those EA numbers, you are screwed. I'm sorry to say, you are screwed unless you talk to your fleet manager and say, hey, I sent you guys a message. There's messages in the Qualcomm. You guys sent me money to pay for the load locks, blah, blah, blah. You give them the load number or the trip number. There's a way for you to prove it. It's just a hassle. So in order for you to be able to do it so payroll understands and they know, okay, they were given permission to use this money to purchase load locks. That way they have their proof and you've submitted your proof. So therefore they can't deny it and be like, well, we didn't know what you wanted the money for or needed the money for. Right? So that's the whole point. You have to be able to fill out everything correctly. Because like I said, without that EA number on the cover of your cover sheet and you just submit your bills and the receipt, they're just going to see the receipt and not do nothing about it. They're not going to look at the amount. They're not going to look at what it was for. They're not going to look at the date. They're just going to, okay. The first thing they see is that cover sheet. And that's what they need to know. And you need to have that EA number right there because that lets them know that Covenant gave you permission to use that money to purchase stuff for the company. You need those authorization numbers. That's why they call them that. That you were authorized to use that money, that it wasn't yours. So that's the whole point of what they're trying to do. Sorry, I was looking at that officer that was sitting in the divider. He was facing the other way, but sometimes they back out of there on the shoulder and then they come after you. I'm being sneaky, Jesus, help me. Okay, so anyway, there are a lot of drivers that say that they don't get reimbursed. They don't do this, they don't do that, blah, blah, blah. Remember on the paperwork when I showed you, when I was filling it out, there's that bubble that's on the top. And it says, fill in this circle if you do not have an expense. So if you have an expense, you don't fill out the bubble, okay? If you do have an expense and you don't fill out the bubble, those boxes need to be filled in. The driver 1, driver 2, whoever spent money, windshield wiper fluid, anything like that, all that stuff needs to be on the paper. And again, anything that's less than $30, you don't need an EA number. Anything that's more than $30, you do need an EA number, and that means that it has to be approved for the amount, blah, blah, blah. But they can tell, windshield wiper fluid, stuff like that, $5, $10, whatever you spend, scales. You know, there's some places we go that don't take the comm data. You have to actually use your debit card. So we show proof of all that and we get reimbursed for it. So as some of the fleet managers, they'll kind of overlook it. They won't see it, whatever. You have to bug them. Hey, did you guys get, my receipt for whatever? Some of them you have to stay on top of them. If they know that you're not just going to let it go, then they'll start to get the hint like, okay, this person knows what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. They're really keeping track of their stuff. Then there's other drivers that blow money, and after a while they just forget about it or say screw it because they're not going to give me my money, whatever. And then it's like, if you choose to spend money, you choose to spend money. So like me, when I go and I get the truck washed, or when I go and get the truck washed, like I just had that video that I just went and got the truck washed, which had been the first time in a long time. But Covenant pays for the basic wash. They just wash the outside, they scrub it up and make it look nice and pretty and shiny. They rinse her off. You're good to go. They also have like spraying the engine, doing the wax, or not the wax, but the coating. I don't know if it's like Rain-X or whatever type of coating they do for it or something. All that stuff's extra. So if I wanted to do that, then Covenant pays for the basic package, and then I pay for the additives. So sometimes I'll pay the $16 or $20 for the engine wash. It used to be $16, but I say $16 or $20 now because, again, everything went up. I don't know what it is now because I haven't paid for it out of pocket in a long time. So I don't want to tell you guys it's $16 and you go in and they're like, oh, it's $18 now. So I don't want to give you guys false information. If I'm not sure, I'll give you a range. So if you want to pay the extras, you're not going to get reimbursed for that because Covenant pays for the basic wash. So if you want to pay for extra the engine wash to make it like look spick and span and have, you know, the wheels done and everything else like that, you can definitely do that. But again, that's going to be your choice to have that expense. They're not gonna, you can't submit for a reimbursement for that and then expect them to take care of it because did nobody ask you to do that. You chose to do that. So that's the difference of what I mean by are you gonna go? Yes or no? You're not even paying attention. I do not like these Amazon drivers. Half of them don't pay attention to what the heck they're doing. So anyway, oh lordy. So if you choose to do that, that's extra, even though it's for the company, but you know what they cover and what they don't cover. So if you still choose to pay out of pocket, that's on you. Covenant didn't ask you to do that for them, and it wasn't a requirement. You don't have to have those things, but you wanted that, so therefore you pay for it, which I don't think it's that bad because Blue Beacon, I think their washes went up to like $47 now or $53 for the basic package. It used to be $37. So that's what I'm saying. Like everything has changed so much, and you know, everything's gone up. So I don't think even like before $16 for the engine wash was not bad at all, but like it gets all like the oil and the gunk and the grease and the dirt and all that stuff from under the hood and off the engine, and they just give you the you know, the wash, the cool little engine wash. It gets everything cleaned. So anything that you choose to pay out of pocket is on you. Anything that you have to pay for is on the company. And make sure you keep all your receipts. Make sure you know how to submit for an EA number and for you to put it on your cover sheet so that way you know that you're going to get that money back. It's so that everything is documented. It's there. There's no missing it or nothing like that. So just make sure that you guys do that, because without those EA numbers, they're going to be like, Covenant didn't give you permit. They didn't give you authorization to make that purchase. So they don't know if you called it fuel in advances and was like, hey, I need an advance, blah, blah, blah. And then it, you know, it went through, because as far as I know, you need permission for that too. But you know, a lot of things get missed. Some people do certain things and whatever. I'm not even going to go into all that because I don't know how Fuel and Advances runs their department. I just know that typically when you need an advance, the most we can pull at like a gas station or a truck stop is $70. $70. And that's 3 times a week. Yeah, 3 times a week, I believe. So, yeah, 3 times a week. So, it's not even that much, but it is possible for you to get more money than just $70 throughout the week, and then that comes out of your following paycheck. It sucks, trust me, I know, but it's just like going to those payday advances or cash advance or check into cash or something like that, but it's within the company. So it's the same principle, same rules, only we don't have the interest to pay on it, right? Because when you go and you get those check into cash loans or something like that, you have interest to pay on it, right? So they tell you you have to pay back this amount, and each day that you have not paid back will result in like 2.3% that's added on top of that. So you're actually paying more than what you borrowed, right? That's why those things are a trap. Don't do it. It's legal loan sharking, and you're just setting yourself up for failure if you do that. I mean, I understand the struggle is real, but it's better to struggle and try to make it with what you have and use those as an absolute last minute resort, and never pull out more than what you need. Never pull out more than what you need. If you only need $250 that you're short on your rent, you better only pull out $250 and borrow that. If you get approved for $825 and you pull the whole thing and you just screwing it off, not only are you going to have to pay that $825, but also the 2.3% on top of whatever that you borrowed. So you do not want to sink yourself in a hole, because each time you do that and each time that you are late, you are just going further and further and further down, and before you know it, you're not going to have crap, and you'll be like, shoot, I should have just struggled and tried to hustle up to $250, and then that way you don't have nothing else on top of that. So anyway, I just kind of went into something else. That's y'all's personal business, my bad. But you don't want to do that to yourself, and you don't want to do that to your family, because it's just going to make things a lot worse. So with that being said, our advances is almost like that, but we don't have a percentage to pay on interest. So if you take out $70, they're going to take out $70 from your check. It's literally the same exact amount. And you don't have to take out the max. Let's say you only need $40 for that week or for that day. Then you take out $40. It's whatever you need. $20, $25, but 70 is the cap. Okay, so anything that you need and you take out, they're gonna take it out of your following paycheck. Understand that. So that check, just remember, it's gonna be $70 short. Okay, that's how that works. If you have an expense, you do not have an EA number, and they decide to take it out of your check, it will minus whatever you had for that expense that you didn't put an EA number on there. They're taking it as an advance. They're looking at it as, we let you borrow money ahead of time, and now it's time to pay that back. So that's how they do it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Trying to think of what else. That's pretty much it. I'm almost at like 40 minutes, guys, for this video. I really do apologize for my language. That was really, really not necessary, but it was kind of like in the moment, and I had a feeling he was going to jump out in front of me, but I thought he would have been smarter than that. So I did be the bigger person or better person. I tapped my brakes, let off so that he could go, but yeah, I don't like that. If you're at a dead stop, do not change lanes with people that are, moving faster than you, because you won't be able to catch your speed because we're already coming into traffic. So, I really need to do my driving 101 videos, because this is just crazy. It's so crazy how people have licenses and they just don't think about what could happen from certain maneuvers. It's just baffling to me. Anyway, yeah, I do have another video in mind. I don't really like to give you guys talky videos. So, and especially like me looking like a hot mess, I will be getting myself together here soon. So I apologize for my appearance. I know this is not a beauty channel, but at the same time, it still makes me feel some type of way. But I will be getting around to it and doing the video for making yourself as well as the business successful and how all of that goes in a nutshell, kind of. So once I get that together, then you guys will kind of know what I'm talking about. Trying to think of what else. I think that's it. I think that's all I got for you guys right now. I'm getting ready to start jamming, and I'm on my way to Barstow. I had a heck of a week. A lot of stuff with my kids and the pregnancy and stuff. Like, I had to go to the hospital on Monday, and I just had issue there, and everything's fine, but I was just feeling like I had issue. But like I said, it's been a lot, and I have to figure out what I'm doing and actually get around to doing it. But I just feel so tired all the time and so dang on lazy that it's just driving me nuts. So anyway, I will let you guys go, and again, apologize for all the talky videos. I will find the perfect time to do my lane departure video. It's just that they've been giving us our load early, and I know that doesn't mean a lot to you guys, but to us that means a heck of a difference, because when we're used to getting our load in the afternoon, we have 17 to 20 hours to sit and wait for it. And that gives me time to sleep. That gives me time to like do everything that needs to be done, and record my videos and everything like that. And because they've been giving us our load early in the morning, my co-driver's on it. She's like, oh, let's get the load, let's go. And then once we have the load and we're going, it's just constantly switching out, just boom, boom, boom. I don't have time to do like a 40-minute video. And I have to eat now. Like, before, I used to skip out on my 30-minute break. Like, I would take the 30-minute break, but I wouldn't eat. Like, I would film my videos or do something like that. But now that I have the baby and I'm pregnant, like, I have to eat. So it's like my break is for my actual break time. And then once it's over, like, I'm not going to sit an additional 30 minutes to 40 minutes filming a video. And, you know, we got to get out of there, because we like to get back home early and have more time at home. So I know it sucks, but once I get a handle on everything and we're able to drop early, my goal is to drop early in the evening, so that way I have the time before I even go to bed. So that's what my goal is, and that's what I'm trying to do. But it's always something. Like I said in the beginning of the video, we were early. Oh my God, we were going to be so early. And then New Mexico hit us with that accident, and a couple of drivers that I saw at the Santa Rosa, New Mexico loves. We were at the Carl's Jr. and we were waiting to get our food, and two other drivers were talking about it. I guess there was a fatality with one of those drivers. So I-40 had two semis crash into each other. I heard it was like 2 to 4, but I don't know. I just saw one that was all crumpled up, like the trailer was all crumpled up. And we got routed around to this back road and these like US highways and stuff that brought us back around the other side. And we lost at least, I think she was sitting in traffic collectively for like 4, maybe 5 hours. So it set us back like a lot. So I'm on my way to the truck now. So hopefully with me getting out here early and me starting out, you know, it'll put us getting where we need to go early. So I'm hoping without any delays is what I'm hoping for. But again, most people don't drive the way that they're supposed to, and therefore we end up with all kinds of incidents and accidents and all this other stuff. So I'm trying my hardest, guys. I appreciate you sticking with me. I do have a milestone video coming up as well, because I have reached over 170. Woohoo! So I'm hoping that they're getting a lot out of the content that I have. I did stop doing my gospel videos. It was taking too much out of me and too much of certain time frames, and I can't even get you guys regular videos right now, so let alone like gospel videos. So you just have to bear with me for that. And again, for the stuff and the giveaways, I promise I'm gonna do it, guys. I know that sounds really repetitive, but once I get a handle on my life, I'll be able to get into that kind of stuff and onto that, and then you guys will be able to start doing trivia and things like that, and I will be shipping out the stuff that you guys win and all that stuff to you guys. And yes, it will be covenant stuff: shirts, jackets, pins, gloves, socks, whichever. The socks are like one size fits all, so it's not like I have to know your shoe size, and stuff like that. Bags, laundry bags. They got you know, mugs, the thermal mugs and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. Again, it will be random. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm sending you. It's just whoever wins the trivia question is what you're gonna just be expecting, a surprise gift or something. And we'll go from there. That way you guys can have covenant stuff, and whether you come or you don't come, you know, it's a really good company. It's just everybody's circumstance is different, you know. So anyway, now I'm going on 50 minutes. I told you guys, long-winded. It's never like a short video. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. And I hope you guys understand the expense video and what I'm trying to say, and about load locks and straps and the grundage bags and stuff like that. If you guys need more elaboration on it, please let me know what area you want me to focus on, and I will be able to get that to you guys. But yeah, I just hope that it helps out a little bit. And if you guys need more in depth and you want to know from your fleet team, you can ask them, send them a message, say, hey, what's an EA number? How do I get it? What macro do I use? Blah, blah. So let them tell you, because again, things might have changed since I've been doing that. I don't get load locks. I don't do any of that stuff. So we really don't use it. Anything that we pay out of pocket for our expenses, my co-driver and I, it's little stuff. Like she buys the washer fluid for the windshield wipers, you know, and I'll do like maybe a scale ticket. She'll do a scale ticket, stuff like that. It's never like major stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not that, you know, we just don't want to deal with it or whatever. It's just our lane doesn't call for that kind of stuff. It's only like scale tickets when we need to, and scale tickets when we need to. And like I said, windshield wiper, she buys that stuff because she uses it. I really don't use the washer fluid and the windshield wiper things, but that's a whole nother video, and I'm really not trying to go into that. I'm at 50 minutes. I'm gonna let y'all go. So until next time, guys, bye.